Welcome to the Insiders Audio Noughts. Sunday night, we just had a weekend of 20-degree weather, Matthew. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Welcome to the south of France. And last night, France beat England in the last match of the rugby,
just.
And my neighbour from around the back of my house, he's English, Simon, digital marketer. Could call him a digital nomad, but he's not really because he lives there with his Swiss wife and a couple of young children. And he was wearing shorts. I said, "Oh, shorts." He goes, "There's no winter here." So, but there
Yeah,
was a little bit of a winter, but like it's behind us. So I'm a happy lad.
that's solid. I mean, yeah, the sun's been out here today. I surfed I'm properly surfed out, and if you hear me like sniffing a bit, my head is just full of seawater. But
Well, you know
yeah,
how to get rid of that, don't you?
I've tried a few ways, but
Well, you hold your nose and you stand up and you bend down like if you're going to touch your
yeah,
toes, and,
yeah,
and and it'll drip all over your shoes.
I've done that. And then it just comes back. But yeah, surfed out. It's been sunny and pretty pumping this weekend. So that's been solid. And then can't complain much else, really.
I've been struggling the last week. I had my oldest son come to visit from Paris. Um, Other obligations, big tides. It was a hectic week, and I took on a new philosophy of it's not winter so much anymore for me. Work's heating up, and I did a lot of 45-minute sessions this week. I didn't really score, but um, the positive thing is I'm not wrecked physically.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, for
Long
sure.
surfs in winter, they just wreck you.
Yeah. I've almost had like the opposite. And this week coming up should be kind of similar as here in England now I can finish work without rushing. I can finish work, get home, get ready, and go for an hour and 15 minute surf before it's dark. And we're still getting like the winter swells. So
Best of
whereas
both worlds.
yeah, whereas like a couple of months ago I was rushing around to like cram in a Dorney because if I finished work it was dark. Now I don't have to cram in a Dorney and I can actually just go to work, get my work out of the way, not have to rush to get a surf in and surf. So pretty buzzing on that.
I
Um,
got a I got a hell rant on that sort of rubbish that I can do, but I'll wait till the end of the episode. Let's dive straight in and let's get what we could call nearly the boring surf news at the moment out of the way. And then there's two real good topics I reckon that we can attack. So Paniche, Griff, Joanne DeFay.
yeah. So I thought it was a pretty sick event, but in fits and starts. I think it was like quite hard to watch when it started, and then they went to the other beach off the jetty, and it was a bit weird, but was kind of fun. And then they had the really long day where they ran in good waves, and I think they got the round of 32 done, the round of 16 done, and I loved that. I thought that was a really really good day of surfing. You saw airs, you saw barrels, you saw big turns. Like Leo got a mental buzzer beater. There's a couple of others, like Medina was an absolute standout. And
What was your standout moment?
for the whole event,
Yep.
it's hard to look past Griff's 9-6 in the final because that was a mental barrel. But um, yeah, I'd probably go with that.
It was
Yeah,
pretty sick, huh? I was a bit underwhelmed. I thought they could have gone bigger. I didn't see his barrel in the final. I thought that was sick. No, I mean I was a bit underwhelmed with the um, Griff Medina semi because I think it's just that Medina kind of fell off a couple of times. I don't think he concentrated. Obviously, I don't know if that's the right word. Hard enough on that second or third wave, and he fell off on his airs, and then kind of grifted a few really good backhand Rios. But I didn't think that's what it was going to take to win that heat.
No, I thought it was going to be Griff having to go above excellent when actually it was more Griff done the classic. I'm going to get two pretty good scores, and if I beat you, I beat you, kind of, which is good heat strategy. Um,
Yeah, well, he won,
but
didn't he? He won the event.
I thought the ladies' final, there was all the talk about, oh, the veterans are back, blah, blah, blah. I thought the ladies' final was one of the worst finals I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was. It was pretty lame.
They
I
didn't really any big one. Like Tyler went on one big
we didn't
one,
attack her. It
basically
was
got
just
blown
safety surfing.
away.
But if Tyler had if she had have not got knocked off by the whitewash, as a judge, would have been compelled to make sure she won the heat just on that wave because the rest of it was just a little bit soft, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was funny, like the good thing about the women's final was it made me feel better about myself because like you basically for half hour watch Tyler Wright not be able to paddle out. Or like get
Oh
stuck
man, that's probably
heavy.
one of the reasons why I don't really like that comp because we've got a couple of spots like that here, like obviously the Gravier and the Piston stuff, and and yeah, they're just such a it's just such a hard wave to surf, and you've got to be. I'm not saying you've got to be young. It's performance board wave hands down. Like you know what I mean. Like it's too
Mhm.
fast for any other sort of boards. You won't get out the back unless you've got a small board to duck dive.
Yeah.
If there was more than four people in the lineup, it would have been chaos because there's only one or two waves that don't close out every now and then.
Yeah.
I think my standout moment of the event came after the event, and that was the little Instagram shot I sent you. I don't know if you saw it. You got your phone there?
Yes. Yes, I did. Uh,
Tyler Wright with her like semi braces on, photo bombing the winners in front, and on purpose opening her mouth with all the braces on there because she did. There was an interview where she explained that she got, I think she got some sort of braces for her palate so that she can breathe better, etc., etc. And it's just one thing after another with Tyler, isn't it? It's pretty funny. I don't think she had to be in the front with a braced face up in our face with the winners behind her. She could have done
mm,
it behind them with her mouth shut.
yeah. It was almost like, how can she?
It's not her Instagram. It's theirs. It was a winner's
Yeah.
shot.
But she took the photo. It's her selfie.
Oh, is it her taking the
But
photo, is
I
it?
think so,
Okay,
from
I
what
take
I've
it all
gauged.
back. Are you
But
sure? I
not
guess she's
100%.
Rip Curl. Because
Kind of
she's
looks
Rip
like,
Curl, so maybe
yeah,
that's why Rip Curl used it.
yeah. It's kind of like a funny photo, but it's also a bit like a bit weird. I find it a bit weird and a bit. She reminded me. She looks like the kid off of
Oh, I know the kid you mean.
Toy
I,
Story, the kid who like,
that's her, doesn't
yeah,
she? That's it. That's it. She is. She's Toy Story girl. I
yeah,
so that can move us straight along, and we can put that comp behind us. I saw on the Rip Curl page when I was watching that all their re-signings. They've got an incredible team of re-signings like Griff, no, not Griff, Crosby,
yeah,
Molly,
yeah.
Tyler. We know re-signed last year. Aaron Brooks,
Hmm.
yeah, like
Yep.
all really good things. Who else did they sign, Matthew?
The arguably the greatest, Stephanie.
The greatest female surfer of the modern era. Well, there is only one era, so of all time, let's call her. What do you think about
I think it's a massive play. I think it's a massive kind of try to get Rip Curl back in the good on the good side of the public after they absolutely butchered their last like kind of campaign.
that? You think
Um,
that's what it is?
well, it is, but I also think it's like you're not going to say no. Like, are you going to say no if you can sign Steph?
Well, 8 million over 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, but you look like because they lost a couple of people, or they decided to drop a couple of people.
Who? Who did they drop? Ripco.
Um, who did they drop? They dropped. Oh, maybe they didn't.
Maybe you think about border eyes. But see,
Mhm.
last week I sold a surfboard to inside a source. Let's just call him a source marketing guy at Quicksilver Europe, and I was like, how's a how's the call with Steph going? You're gonna be able to keep her? And he went, oh, I don't know about that. Oh yeah, actually, that's not a done deal yet, and everything.
Mm.
And I was thinking from that second that they didn't have a chance because um I told you like maybe was it a month ago another inside source from Rip Curl Marketing Europe told me that he heard Lisa had been offered 40 grand, right? Lisa
Mm.
Anderson, stay with Board Riders, Roxy, 40 grand a year.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, really, honestly, is it? But if you're not doing anything, uh, I mean, I'd be happy with it if you had
Mm.
another couple of jobs, but I'm not 4 times ex-world champion, things like that. So if Steph's on a million, that's 25 times a year the value of Lisa Anderson. Is that a fair call?
I think so. Like
She's still surfing.
Steph Gilmore is
She's
the
still in the
biggest.
game.
She's the biggest signing in women's surfing. Like I think I think she has more reach than Carissa because she is the best competitively. She's won the most, but she is by far hands down the best women's free surfer.
Is she
And
cross-cultural?
cross cultural, she's not
I just made that
political. She's not
word up.
political. She's not she doesn't make stupid statements. She's not like reckless and like getting going and getting off her head like or anything like that. She is a dream to sign. Anyone would want to sign her, and she is the most like valuable woman to have on your brand in the world. I would probably say she's in the top five most valuable surfers to have on your brand. Like gender doesn't even come into it. Um, the biggest thing it makes me like this is where like when stuff like this happens,
Okay,
right?
go back. Step back
You go
there.
on.
Has any guy that we know been signed on an 8 year contract for 1 million a year?
I think Griffin's was pretty long. I think Griffin's was a 7 year deal.
Was it? Was Quicksilver?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 7 year deal, and it's a lot.
Is Griff bigger to the men's market than Steph is to the women's market?
Um, Probably not because of
Does Steph make a guy want to buy Rip Curl as well because they know, hey, do you think she can cross gender? Is she cross genderal? Maybe
probably,
not. You love her.
but I
If there
think
was a Steph men's t-shirt, you'd wear it.
yeah, why not?
There you go.
She's
Just
cool
one,
as.
just one, just one.
Um, but yeah, I mean with the Griff, I can't remember, but I think Griff's might have been the same sort of thing, like £1 million a year, like roughly, and it should kind of be. I mean, if anything, Steph should get paid more. I think she would. I think she sells more. But
Are we looking at his age there and saying Okay, he's at the start of his career, so he's got a good. I think she's in 4 years' time still really valid if she's still surfing well. That takes her to 44. Kelly's
Yeah,
52. Eight
yeah.
years ago, he was still like post only a couple of years after his last world title, and as relevant a surfer as he could have, still is really. Uh,
Mm.
so, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's
It
excellent.
gets
Excellent. I think it's an excellent core form rip curl, honestly. And where does that leave Quicksilver and Roxy? I don't. They've
but
just got
also
no coin.
does it? Yeah, is it? This is where the rumor mill starts going around and stuff. Is like so. Well, this is like what happens in my head. Is now I'm thinking. So is that a money saving exercise for Quicksilver and Roxy, or are
Are they
they?
happy?
Gonna,
Are they
are
happy
they?
they don't have to spend that 8 million?
Or are they going to try and get someone to be their marquee surfer, um, and probably not have to pay them as much as Steph?
Can Caroline Marks match the same sort of power, media, cultural power as Steph?
Right now, no, but
Who else is Roxy? So I even forgot Caroline Marks even was Roxy, but I saw it on a board not long ago. She is current world champ.
Caro Jump, yeah.
If she makes the top five,
Um,
she's got another crack. If it's 3 foot and she does 50 backhand Rios down the line, she's
yeah.
pretty good at the backhand Rio.
Betty Lou was, but now she's Ruka.
I reckon Betty
Um,
Lou's better than Caroline.
it's hard to say that she's better when Caroline's current world champ, but on current form, Betty Lou's
She's
playing
a
pretty.
few years younger.
Yeah,
We'll see this year. She was smashing it. I thought she was maybe one of the form surfers of this event. I don't know how she got knocked out. It's just one of these comps where people just get knocked out.
yeah.
Like Italo. Who beat Italo again?
E-
Ethan.
Ethan, yeah,
He looked incredible, huh? But I just didn't see that happening. Him making the final there. He's just got such
yeah,
like people just melt for that front side hack.
yeah.
He's got no social media presence whatsoever. It's just like RoboCop. I don't
He's
think he even
I love
cares.
him.
He
I
doesn't have
like
to
how
care. It's kind of pretty cool, isn't it?
yeah, I like how under the radar he kind of is. Um, but what was the second bit of big news that you wanted to talk about?
Ah, best video that best thing that it's hit the screens in over a year was that Cloudbreak swell.
Yeah,
I've
mental.
rewatched. Okay, so now we can talk about it. I watched Tim Boney Thiance twice and Nathan Florence's twice, and a good friend of mine from Richard or Anthony King was there, and he got a wave in Tim Boney Thiance one, not like what the triple A dog big dog's got, but that was
Mm.
mesmerizing. What did you think?
Yeah, the first thing I saw of it was the Solly Bailey wave, and I remember watching the Solly Bailey one, and he's literally like not moving, but he's going like so fast, and he's like perfectly positioned in this barrel, and I kept just thinking to
10,
myself,
10 meters deep.
yeah, I kept thinking to myself, he's making this look so easy because he just wasn't moving. He literally was just like pig dog, kind of like holding his rail, just like going fast on one line. And I was like, he's making this look so easy, but I can only even like begin to imagine how hard that is. And then he kicks out, and then the one behind it, Nathan Florence, is on, and he's just
Just
standing,
stands tall.
just
He's
like
just he's just next level. He's just it's just ridiculous how good he is and that stuff. Or comfortable he is.
yeah. And then Laura Enever got a sick one as well.
Yeah, she
Um,
got two. She didn't really make them, but she got a couple. She was
and
there.
Yeah, she sent it, and yeah, it was sick. It was like it was cool to see that everyone like sent it on a bit of a uh swell chase and actually scored as well.
What was interesting, I thought, was the Solly Bailey one I saw on my phone, and I was just like lost for words. But then when I saw it on the main screen, it didn't look as big as what I thought. And then I watched that one video, and there were the first few guys at the start were kind of average surfers, but chargers getting some really good waves. And I think collectively around the world, hardcore surfers and guys that have been to Indo, and I'm sure it's a shit ton of Europeans too, because there's so much swell here, South Americans. I just think a lot of people are watching this video, relating to it, and thinking, would I have been comfortable out there, and would I have been able to get a decent wave? I reckon you'd find 500 or 600 people that would put their arm up for that afternoon if someone had fly them in, because it's not a cheap trip, Fiji either.
Do you think that many?
Oh yeah, yeah, heaps of underground. Like I talked to a few friends, and like we probably would have been there and wanted to stay in the boat, but I don't know. I
I
just
would
reckon it
love to
looked
have been
that
there in the
good.
boat. There's no way I'll be paddling out. Absolutely not a chance.
Yeah, but
But
there's
they were like,
some really good barrel riders around the world that have spent a lot of time in Indo and everything like that. And that was like, how big was that? It was like 12 foot, I think, 12, 15
did you
foot.
see the Billy Kemper clip though, where he like
Yeah,
went over the falls and
airdropped.
one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, full airdrop, and you're like, well, Billy Kemper's like what 5-time big wave world champ, very, very, very good surfer, like elite surfer, and he still is in that position. Like you're just like, whoa, like maybe, I'd
Yeah,
watch
but
that.
that was the heaviest, one of the heaviest waves of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what I'm thinking. There was more work to be done on that swell by some young cameraman, because Tim's more of a action waterman. But I would have loved to have known what all the boards they were riding, like
Mm. Yeah.
what sort of leg ropes, what sort of equipment they are packing, which you usually get from Nathan, and we might get one from Nathan. Can I just call him Nathan? I don't have to use his family name.
No, we're mates with him, so
Okay,
Nathan.
okay, good, good. I feel a bit uncomfortable. Or Nate. We'll
Yeah.
probably get, we'll probably get, hopefully a couple more videos, because this friend of mine, he snapped his 8.6 in two, and then went back out there on a 7.3, uh,
Mm.
and got a pretty decent wave. But I'd love to know what Billy Kemper was on.
Yeah.
Nathan's looked brand new. You seen full deck grip.
Mm.
I'm
He
a
always
bit.
does that. Or he does that on most of his bigger wave boards.
I just got a new. Hopefully we get Bradley on. I just got a new 8.9 shaped for down here. It's got a full beautiful, like the most beautiful blue tinted deck. And I just think it'd make me sick to put a black deck grip over all that. I'm gonna have to
Mm.
just have wax.
Wax. Well, talk about wax. There's a new wax in town. Um,
Oh, it's
there's a
new wax
wax.
in town.
There's a wax called Sister Betsy's Black Label Wax.
Is it sick?
It's mental. It's from America. Balaram Stack and a few people use it and stuff. My mate Harry gave me a little like nod on it and said, "Oh, it's pretty sick." And then it was just weirdly serendipitous. This guy rolled in to my stab event, which went really, really sick as well. And he handed us a couple of bars, and he was like, "Oh, it's really, really good." And I get quite a lot of people tell me their wax is good and handing out like random wax and stuff. And then I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a go." And geez, this stuff is sticky, like and beads
Stickier
up.
than stickier than foo.
Yeah, because they have like their cold and their base, and then they have this thing called high voltage, which is essentially like a top coat, and you need like the tiniest amount on top, and it's like equivalent to foo. It's as good as
How
foo.
much? How much?
Way cheaper. It's like so foo in England now
Is
is
it £8 or so?
£8 a bar.
Yeah,
Mental.
that's what
Mental.
that was. We were going to have, not we, well, where I work on Saturdays, the Bell Surf Shop, Euroclass. They were going to get food wax in, and maybe they still will, but I told them not to. Like €8, like, come on. And
Yeah.
honestly, I just reckon it's too sticky. It gets all over your wetsuit, gets all over your board shorts.
Yeah. It is
Like
it's
you
sticky.
ruin all your stuff for $8.
And it's with the good thing with foo is that it you don't need as much, so it does last quite a while. But
Okay, okay.
this stuff's the same. Like this stuff, you bang your base coat on, you put a top coat on, and then you just like every couple of or every surf, just real light on the top coat, and you're good to go.
What's it called again?
Sister Betsy. Um,
Let's send them a mail and see if they can send us some, and we'll give it a good test.
yeah, well the guy in the UK has given me some. I don't know if he's in France or not, but it's pretty sick stuff. So
I've
if
got a local wax dude down here who makes it out of
yeah, we've got a couple of them around here.
beeswax.
There was a guy in
It's
England who
pretty
gave me
good.
some, and it made my board slipperier. It was the worst. I
Mm.
was like, this is actually putting me in danger. But
No. The guy down here is pretty good, and it smells pretty good, and it's natural. And I'm all
that's
about
good.
the natural. I'm all about the clean and happy.
Yeah. Well, there's another brand that have come to see me called Radical Wax, and they make wax using it's complete. This is completely eco. It's like really, really sustainable.
Out of snot.
No, they make it out of the byproducts of cosmetic um stuff. So like
Oh, cosmetic stuff.
yeah, like
Lipstick.
yeah, makeup and like hand creams and stuff like that. The byproduct of that they put into this wax, and so it's all recyclable and all
Okay, so
recycled,
instead of chucking it,
and it's bright and it's white rather than most other eco waxes are brown, and it's actually really really sticky. I haven't used that.
does it smell good?
Yeah, it
For
smells
me,
good.
it's all
Yeah,
about the smell, the wax. It's all about the smell. A really nice smelling wax will just make me happy.
it does smell good. It's kind of got like a eucalyptusy kind of smell. It does smell nice. And that's sticky. I haven't used it without boots yet. With boots, it's really sticky, but boots obviously add a bit of traction. But that's Radical Wax. They're a UK brand, and that's fully eco. And it's actually probably it's by far the best eco wax I've ever used. Um,
I think it would be worth us doing a wax episode, but maybe this is it. Well, let's get a bunch
maybe
of
yeah,
pictures of all these things. Hey, I'll forget it otherwise. And this one of our listeners said to me, "Hey, you could do a structure, and hey, have you ever thought of doing this?" And I said, "Hey, if you think of it, you do your own podcast, and me and Matt will do ours." Hey, get people giving them ideas. But before we forget, Chelsea Jorgensen, Chelsea Hedges. Did you watch that?
yes, I've seen that before. I didn't realize when you sent me the clip. I didn't realize it was Rivals.
2003 or four.
I
How
love
mind
Rivals.
blowing is her backside tube riding? It's equal to anyone on the tour at the moment. Anyone.
So good. Yeah. And I think we might have said it before or not, but anyone who wants to watch something like that's really, really funny and good, because it's Jed Smith and Vaughan Blakey, so from the guys from ANDDDD as well. Rivals on YouTube. Um, there's a really good season where there's Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson and Dingo, and that was
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
funny. And then, but
But
the one you're on about with Chelsea Hedges, was amazing, like real, real funny, and like can't remember who wins that series, but she's
she she
standout.
won she won one world title and then had
Yes,
children and everything. She's still ripping. And I watched that and I thought, how did female backside tube riding not evolve like at a bigger snowballing rate after her? Was it because she retired and people weren't watching her anymore? I think it was.
I think
There are
it's
some good back ride tube riders, but nothing like that. Like
I think
if
it's
you had to
just
give them,
opportunity.
hmm,
Like they weren't given the opportunity in comps, so then
but that's it.
why bother doing it? Like,
They should have been given the opportunity in comps and the tubes she was getting and what they get now. And
mm,
that's why it was a absolute brilliant call that they gave Molly the 10 because that's
yeah,
forcing them to do that.
yeah, 100%. And and maybe that's why. But yeah, the rival episode is real good, and she rips like solid backhand riding.
Incredible backhand style and everything. I just thought that was amazing because she's like, Caroline Marks doesn't have, and I'm not bagging Caroline because she rips. She's got one of the best backhand Rios I've ever seen. And frontside, she's pretty good, but she's got nothing on her backside tube riding and even frontside tube riding. And that's what they've got to have if they want to be world champs. And same for the guys. And that's why, unfortunately, poor old, and we won't call him poor old because he's retired, Felipe copped so much of a bagging is because really you should be able to not have to excel and win pipe, but and Chopu, but at least have a good dig that
Yeah,
keeps
yeah,
keeps the rest of your game. The rest of okay, so he didn't win, but he made the semis, and like you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And then moving on, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I think it's one of the most brilliant things I've seen in ages. Have you seen the 3 minute little clip that Dane Reynolds and Channel Islands have put together?
Ah,
The the
fantastic.
the
I sent it to Bradley.
the small wave support group. That is one of the
Fantastic.
funniest things. I messaged I Devon so Devon Howard sent me the clip and was
Let's
like,
get him on.
I think you'll like this. And I watched it and I was like, it is unbelievable. It's so funny.
Can't we get Devon on? I thought he was brilliant in that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll ask him. I'll get him on.
I like that dude. He's talking about how he's just proffered and like what was it about his comp and stuff.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
was really good in that? Sarge Erickson. She was really funny in that too.
I just loved the bit that killed me was when they was like she says to Britt like, "Oh, it would be good if you could shape me a step up," and then they go to Matt McCabe and they're like, "When was the last time you rode a step up?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"What's a step up?" Um,
yeah. I thought that
but
was funny. I thought that
when
was unreal. That was just good. It's that's how
so
things should
clever,
be.
so clever, and it actually, honestly, it actually then made me like go and look up the board, and then like looked at the board, and then was like, "Oh, that actually looks sick!" Like especially for the UK and the
Of course, it's going to be a good seller. The dumpster diver was gigantic.
yeah,
Like they've got an incredible team. If it goes good, it'll be a huge seller because unfortunately, that's what the whole world wants is their small wave driver instead of their
yeah,
step up, which is I've always been against that, but whatever. To each their own.
it
Uh,
was amazing though,
it is hysterical.
and I was just like, it's so clever as well. Like, when was the last time you're talking about a surfboard advert? Like, I went into work the next day and was like, "Oh, boys, watch this!" And like, we all like sat around and watched it and was laughing about it and like, well, that's the perfect advert, is it? And it's so good from CI. So, um, yeah,
I had this guy come in 2 weeks ago or last weekend, and I spent over an hour with him because he wanted to get a G skate. And one of my good mates, Robbie, who's from up northeast England, G skate lover,
I
and the
sold him
guy
on.
wanted a 5'8". Yeah, there you go. And he's as tall as me and thicker. He's like 86, 87, and I said, man, I said 5'8" is too small for you. Like we had a 5'10" there, and I said, I'm not trying to sell you a 5'10" because we got it, but like honestly, if you want
Mhm.
it for what you want, which is and he was, oh yeah, that's a really interesting that you think that and everything. And I was just being honest, which used to kind of be a dangerous thing. in the old when
Yeah.
I worked there all the time as well. You know, it can be dangerous because some of them won't listen to you. And I seen him in the car park yesterday with a spine tech. Um, what's the neck beard swallowtail?
Oh, the rocket wide.
No, no, no. It's like the neck beard, but it's a big swallowtail like fish.
Oh, fish beard.
The fish beard, spine tech, fish beard, epoxy
Gross.
with massive big twin keels, and it was 4 to 6 foot. And I went past. I said, "Ah, good on you, mate. That great. That looks unreal and stuff." And I was just thinking, and then I was pissed at myself, and I was like, I should have just gone for the sale and sold him anything and just
No.
get him on my. And then driving home, I said no. Thought about Gabe Davies, and I thought stick to my integrity.
Thing is if
They
you'd have
want to
told
buy something
him,
shit, they can go somewhere else and buy it.
if you'd have sold him the 5.8 G skate, he would have blamed you when it didn't work.
When he
And
couldn't catch
now
a
he'll
wave.
and now he'll probably yeah, and now he'll probably be thinking, oh, I bought this fish beard and I probably should have listened to Dazza.
I'm wondering if he doesn't snap that board this week because this week we've got good 4 to 6 foot every day. And we'll
Mm.
probably have that for the next on and off for the next 2 months. And that's what he said. Oh, it's got to be my all round board. And I said, well, where do you surf? And he said, I carp at Signos down at Cabradon. Blah, blah, blah. And that board he's got doesn't suit that. That suits mid June to mid September. But,
Yeah.
you know, I lost the sale. He's going to be on that board. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the thing's just in two. Huh?
Yeah, well, it's Christian's favorite construction. If you ask Christian
Oh,
about
he
Spine Tech, he
loves
loved it.
loves the spine tech. I don't even know what it means. What's the spine tech? Is that what because they put the carbon down the
Carbon
center
down the
so that
spine, yeah. Basically, and it doesn't have a
it's
stringer.
supposed to mirror a stringer. Never am I going to get
Mm.
a stringless board. Trust me, unless like I get invited like 12 times to Kelly's pool.
Mm.
How much chance is that? Have you
No.
ever seen? I haven't
You'd
been to a
still you'd
pool.
still want
You
to
know
board with a
that?
stringer out there. Hey, lastly, we started about the weather and we'll finish about the weather. How sick's this? So I surfed my simple wetsuit this morning, Dawny, um, and then got home. Sun was out, put it in the back garden, hung it. 3 o'clock, got back in, same wetsuit was bone dry. Wore it
There you
again.
go. I got in trouble from that same guy who said to me on our wetsuit tips episode thing that we didn't say it's not good for a wetsuit to hang it in the sun, which we both know. But I said to him, that's a valid point if you don't surf every day.
Yeah. Plus, depending on the level of the sun, like we're talking March in England, so it was still only like
Yeah,
14 degrees or something. It
it's
wasn't
not that it's not the
as there.
equator, is
Yeah.
it?
Um, was that
Oh
the
well,
guy
okay. So
podcast tips?
we got a little bit of a minute. I'll try and do it in 20 seconds. So yeah, there was one good morning of surf, and my missus had set up us to get a new internet box. So the cable guy turns up. It was the same morning my son had come back from Paris, and I'd already had a physio booked. So I'm at the physio, and my son's ringing me. The cable guy can't find the phone plug, and that was back and forth. I come back, and then I had to take him off somewhere. And I was saying to the cable guy, "I've got to go." He's going, "You can't leave me in the house with a minor because my other son was sick, huh?" And all this, by the time I got to the surf, tide was too low, and I just thought that's happening to surfers everywhere in the world at the moment. We're all full of obligations, and all you got to do is roll with the punches. I mean, what
Yeah.
can you do?
The time will
Huh?
come where you rock up and you're meant to be too late, and then you rock up and it's all time, and you're like, actually, I'm glad that I was late.
Roll with the punches, surfers. It's the hardest sport to score. There's nothing harder.